like your mind just won't shut down, you might have thoughts that are just loud and waking you up in the middle of the night. It's exhausting. I just want to let you know you are not alone and that you aren't broken either. You are grieving. After losing your husband, it makes complete sense that your brain would be in overdrive, that you would be thinking thoughts that seem to be so real, and yet they can derail you. So I do tell my clients a lot that a thought that you have is not wrong. It's what you make the thought mean. And can I just tell you a story? When I first lost my husband to melanoma cancer, I remember in the beginning stages, I had so many fearful thoughts. Fearful thoughts that I was going to get cancer, fearful thoughts that I wasn't going to be able to make it, fearful thoughts that it just was so overwhelming to think I'm going to be by myself. So, all those thoughts of fear, I made them mean something. And so, what I want to just share with you is that you can name the experience, but to allow yourself to pause. And here's what I'm going to tell you: there's a kind of overwhelm in widowhood that is hard to explain, and a lot of people don't understand. But your mind is saying things like, how am I going to do this? I don't know how I'm going to do this alone. I'm always going to feel this way. My life is over now. I just can't get over this sadness. This is just too heavy for me to carry. I'll always be alone. Those thoughts are overwhelming thoughts, and you're probably having them. I know I had them. Sometimes those thoughts, though, will spiral, and they'll spiral so much that it feels like you have anxiety. You may be waking up in the middle of the night. I know that for me, that was a big time between 2 and 6. In fact, I used to get so excited when 6 o'clock came around because then I could just wake up and start my day. And then those thoughts were gone. So I thought that was so interesting. If in the middle of the night, that quiet that I was having, my brain was now able to just go all over the place. So I want to help you today with that same scenario. It's funny, it typically does come out of nowhere. When I think about my mornings after I have this whole night of feeling a certain thought, remember what I just said, feeling a certain thought, and then it hits 6 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I can go on with my day. I don't even think about the thoughts that I had throughout the night. Isn't that interesting? And you're probably doing the same thing. So I want to tell you something that helped me. Your nervous system is on high alert. After you have a traumatic event, I've explained this before, your brain is on overdrive. And so it's not doing anything wrong, it's just trying to protect you. And if you think about in the times, years, caveman time, biblical times, if a lion was chasing you, you would respond. It would be that fight or flight. Well, the same thing happens when you have a traumatic event. So I want to tell you something that helped me, and I hope that it will help you. You see, grief is not just emotional, it's actually physiological. Your brain is in overdrive. It is trying to protect you. And that is a really beautiful thing. Here's where it can get tricky though. When you allow your brain to actually run the show, you can notice your thoughts. You can notice, I have a fearful thought, I have a sad thought. When you make it mean something, that's where we run into overwhelm and then thoughts start to spiral. Now, I want you to know this: none of these thoughts mean failure or that you're doing anything wrong. You didn't choose this. I didn't choose this. So, these steps, just like I talk about in my gentle grief guide, and if that's something that you're interested in, you can just link into my description below. It will help you and guide you. You see, you're in a pattern. I don't really know if many people understand that your thoughts are something you create. It's a pattern you create. We all have patterns. I curl my hair this way. I call it a strategy. I curl my hair this way first, and then I go to this side. That is a pattern. That is a strategy. And so for you, you are in what's called a strategy. Your brain's just trying to protect you. And so the thoughts that you have, none of that is wrong. Those are just something that you've started to make mean. And so it's becoming a habit. With my gentle grief guide, it actually helps you to create a pattern. You start to notice what you're saying. You start to notice, oh, I am saying that one thing over and over again. That seems to be a pattern. And it's nowhere to judge, it's just a pattern. And this is going to help you. So stick with this. I know some widows who actually have told me, I just got to be stronger. I just got to get this together. I've just got to figure this out. And I want you to know this. Fighting your thoughts is actually going to create more overwhelm. Your thoughts are not wrong. They're just thoughts. Just like I've spoken about in this last video, your thoughts are just thoughts. They're nothing to make anything mean. It's just to start to become aware of them. Because again, like I said, you've created a pattern. Grief does not respond by force. So if you're telling yourself, get over this, move on, or maybe you're saying, I'm never going to move on, I'm always going to be stuck in this place. Again, that is just a thought. What if instead of trying to stop the thoughts, you just simply notice them? Not to analyze them, not to try and fix them, not to try and judge them, just to name what's happening. You might quietly say this, and this is what I typically do. Oh, that's a grief wave. Oh, that's a grief thought. You know, I've shared before, I live across the street from the river. It's one of the biggest rivers that we have here in Oregon. And I will tell you that when we went kayaking on the river, it is huge. It is beautiful. You can just be going and sailing so beautifully on your kayak. But you know that there is a rapid. And if you're aware that it's a rapid, you're going to be on alert. You're not going to be like willy nilly just paddling, thinking, oh, shoot, there's a rapid, right? You know, you're already aware that there is a rapid. The same thing with grief. You already know that you're going to have grief thoughts, that a song is going to play, that you're going to have a moment where you're going to feel sadness. You're not going to judge the sadness and you're not going to make it mean something. You could even say something like, this is my nervous system asking me to slow down. Now, what if this happens in the middle of the night? You know, for me, like I said earlier, that's typically when I would have these spiraling, overwhelming feelings. Again, this is great for you to go ahead and grab that gentle grief guide, because what I would love for you to do is now, let's imagine you wake up in the middle of the night and you have overwhelming thoughts. I want you to just put your hand on your heart. I want you to take a deep breath in. And I want you to pause right at that top. And then I want you to let it go. I want you to just say this: I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm safe. This is just a grief thought. Slow your body down. If you need to just adjust yourself, take another deep breath in and then go ahead and release it. I bet you if you're doing that with me right now, you can notice that your body is actually responding, because you know what happens is you're starting to regulate your nervous system just by doing that. Funny thing is, you don't need to calm everything. You don't need to calm the thoughts, or you don't need to create a new thought in the middle of the night. You just need to pause and let yourself know, I'm okay. Just take another deep breath in. I'm here. I'm noticing this thought. It's going to be okay. I'm in a grief wave. And then you just calm your nervous system. It's very simple. And it just takes a few minutes. You don't need to spend all night doing this, right? You're going to do that when you feel that overwhelmed calm, and you name it and you let that thought know, oh, look, we're not going to make anything out of this. We're not going to make anything out of this. This is just a thought, whatever that thought is. And I want you to know this: overwhelming thoughts are normal. They're normal when you have a traumatic event. So it's normal to feel the thoughts that you have. It's normal to feel sadness. It's normal to feel doubt. It's normal to feel overwhelmed. And it's normal to feel anxious and fearful. Those are all normal thoughts. You are allowed to go slowly. You don't need to rush it. You don't need to do anything else but just take your time and let your thoughts be noticed. You're just aware of them. That's all. Your thoughts, and when you have those thoughts, you just go, oh, you're trying to make me safe. You're trying to take care of me. You're trying to show me. That's it. And look, if this resonated with you at all, I want you to know something. You are invited to Grief and Me. It is my free support group. We meet on Thursdays via Zoom, and the ladies are amazing. You can also grab that gentle grief guide. I think it would be really great. It's the price of a bag of coffee, but I think it would be great for you just to start to practice, because when you practice new strategies, new thoughts, when you start to capture your thoughts and you don't make your thoughts mean anything, you're actually going to find yourself in a healing process. I know it feels like you're going to feel this way forever. I know that. I have felt those thoughts too. Losing your spouse is probably the worst thing anyone could experience, especially when you have built a life with this person and now you're thinking, what is next? That's why I actually started a new program called A New Way to Stand. So you are more than welcome to get on the wait list for that. You're just going to go ahead and email me and let me know, yes, I would like to be on that wait list. We're going to be opening up that course in January. But here's the thing, my love. Just know this. You are grieving. The thoughts you have are thoughts. You're going to start to create new strategies within your grief journey. You're going to start to see that you are not broken and that you are going to have life again. It is different. It's not the same. I know that. And yet you are still here. I love to think of my husband cheering me on, and in his spirit's with me, and your husband's spirit is with you. As you look around, I want you to just start to notice. Just start to notice what is there for you. And if you're starting to say things like right now, if you're starting to say things like, well, there's nothing left for me, that is a thought. And I want to help you create a new strategy for that. So I can't wait to see you in Grief and Me, and go ahead and grab that gentle grief guide today. See you soon.